جبت أكل عشان أستمتع بالبث. ويلكم برو. ويلكم إن. ويلكم. أوه. يا الله، هذا كمان جابه. إيش اسمه؟ يهود باراك. هذا هذا كان رئيس صح؟ هذا كان رئيس كان. هذا من جيل شارون. يهود باراك. هذول كانوا عساكر ترى في حرب 73 67 تقريبا. شارون مثلا كان في 48. جيل وسخ هذا أوسخ جيل. أوكي، جاب هذا حجاب سويناه. خلنا نشوف. ديم 19 مليون. 19 مليون. هذا حق تي ان تي صح؟ يونج ترك. عنده قناة على اليوتيوب. هذه هذه قناته. هذا هذا عمه لهذا لحسن. وصلت؟ اتراك امه. ذا يونج تركس. بس اتراك امريكا، عرفت؟ اتراك امريكا. والمذيعين هو التركي الوحيد، او معاه اثنين يهودين تقريبا. عرفت؟ وعليكم السلام. اوكي خلينا نشوف ايش بيقول.
Well, joining me now to discuss this is the founder of the world's most influential progressive online channel.
Let's go.
Well, joining me now to discuss this is the founder of the world's most influential progressive online channel, The Young Turks, a Democratic presidential hopeful. And that's Cenk Uygur. Cenk, great to have you on the program. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. I'll be following your tweets with interest.
كلامه يعجبني. هذا جن. هذا كلامه ستريت. فهمت علي؟ لما اقول لك ستريت ك واحد زائد واحد يساوي اثنين. محمد حجاب السمعناه قبل شوي. اجابات طويله، فهمت علي؟ اجابات طويله مو في يعني يدي مثلا مثال. اذا فهمت المثال معناته جاوبت على السؤال والجواب هذا. Let's go.
This week, you've been getting increasingly angry, I think it'd be fair to say. You said, I'm now enormously frustrated by US and Israeli government's barbaric acts in Gaza. I will not be shy in sharing that opinion on Piers Morgan's show today. Why are you so frustrated?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I didn't expect the framing that you put on this segment, and it's framing like that. That's disgusting. So I don't see what this has anything to do with anti-Semitism.
What?
Well,
Why are you so frustrated?
معلش.
Opinion on Piers Morgan's show today. Why are you so frustrated?
اوكي. بيرس مورغان كان له مدة قاعد يقول هذه عداء ليش السامية. انتي سيماتيزم اللي قاعد يصير في عند الكيان. وهذا كان زعلان. اوكي.
yeah. Well, honestly, I didn't expect the framing that you put on this segment, and it's framing like that. That's disgusting. So I don't see what this has anything to do with anti-Semitism. I formed Young Turks and TYT with two Jewish friends who are some of my friends growing up. We've known each other and been brothers for over 40 years now. So I think what Hamas did is disgusting. I cry for those Israeli innocent civilians. But do I see you guys crying for Palestinians? I mean, Chris Christie was just on here treating it like it's no big deal because what, Palestinian lives don't matter? I think the real bigotry here is saying that Palestinians, we can kill 3 times as many of them already. And this is the appetizer. Netanyahu and his barbaric government have not even started the entree of murder and death and mayhem they're about to do. And that's somehow okay, killing 3 times as many Palestinian civilians.
انا متأكد من الشغلة هذه كلها ترى مقبلات اللي قاعد يصير. زي ما قال قاعد يجهزوا الارض عشان تكون مفتوحة ويخشوا دخول بري، صح؟ دام.
have not even started the entree of murder and death and mayhem they're about to do. And that's somehow okay, killing 3 times as many Palestinian civilians, let alone the occupation, which is bigotry by definition. We say that everyone in the world can defend themselves, can have their own state, can have sovereignty, except the Palestinians. And the reasoning behind that is the Palestinians are what? They're what? The idea is that they are savages and that Muslims are too violent and cannot control themselves, so they must be occupied for 56 brutal, disgusting years. So I've had enough of the bigotry against Muslims and Palestinians, and I need you to speak out. Occupied for 50. Muslims are too violent and cannot control themselves, so they must be occupied for 56 brutal, disgusting years. So I've had enough of the bigotry against Muslims and Palestinians, and I need you to speak out against that instead of covering every outrageous, atrocious action of the right-wing government of Israel and going, oh, it's anti-Semitism. No, and there is global anti-Semitism. There's anti-Semitism here in this country. 2 synagogues were shot up, Pittsburgh and in Southern California. We fight against that all the time. But then whenever Israel is criticized, people go, oh, no, it's anti-Semitism. No, there's real anti-Semitism. Instead of attacking that, all you guys ever do is hide behind the veil of anti-Semitism. Do you know why Palestinians might not like Israelis? Because they've been oppressed for 56 straight years.
I hear you. And let me respond. I'm not you guys. I don't think I fit into any neat fit on this issue at all. B, I've actually covered this story, I think, more fairly than most people. I've had many pro-Palestinian voices I've given a huge platform for. They've been getting enormous audiences from Bassem Youssef to others. And I've done that quite deliberately because I think these voices are important to be heard, including yours. I certainly wasn't accusing you, by the way, or your organisation of anti-Semitism. I have found it, as somebody who's always identified as liberal myself, I've found it very dispiriting to see people who call themselves liberals whose instant response, it seemed to me, to one of the worst terror attacks we've ever seen was to immediately side with the place where these attacks have been launched from. Now, I don't tar all Palestinians with the brush of being Hamas at all. And in fact, the sooner Hamas are out of there, the better for the Palestinian people and the world. But I just think the only human response you can have is, as you did, by the way, to your credit, is it was disgusting what happened on October the 7th. Now, the question then becomes, what is a proportionate response by Israel?
ما هو الرد المتناسب؟ دائما هذا السؤال دائما قاعد يعيده، صح؟ What is the proportionate response by Israel؟ ايش هو الرد المناسب المفروض يسويه إسرائيل غير الرد هذا؟ محمد حجاب ما أعطاه جواب، أعطاه قصة إيرلندا وبريطانيا، أعطاه لفة، دخل في لفة طويلة ورجعونا 3 مرات في نفس النقطة، صح؟ وقاعد يذكر أن أنا مع العراق وزي كذا. أتمنى الجيل ما يسوي نفس الموضوع. هم تقريبا اليوم بدوا اليوم دبابات وجنود. وات؟ لا، أنا ما أظن لسه الدبابات موجودة من أول، بس برا الحدود، بس لسه ما دخلوا. اليوم اللي يدخلوا فيه هذا بيكون يوم دموي إن شاء الله، مو بالجهة الفلسطينية. Let's go.
Response you can have is, as you did, by the way, to your credit, is it was disgusting what happened on October the 7th. Now, the question then becomes, what is a proportionate response by Israel? Not just the terror attacks of October the 7th, but obviously there is now a huge ongoing escalation in what has been, as you rightly say, a 56-year war, effectively, in varying degrees over that period. And that's where I think I'm struggling to see how a ground invasion by Israel, with all that would entail, particularly mass deaths of Palestinian civilians, how that is going to do anything for any peaceful resolution to this. I think it will have the opposite effect.
Okay. Let's go.
Yes. So let's take it one at a time. First of all, as you rightly point out, on Young Turks, we covered the atrocious actions of Hamas right from the get-go, and we condemned it as fully as anyone can possibly condemn it. Because not only are they killing those poor, innocent Israelis that didn't do anything, those little babies and the grandmothers, it's disgusting what they did.
Okay.
But on top of that, they're ruining the Palestinian cause. They've burned the moral high ground to cinders. And then on top of that, they smear all people of Muslim background like myself. And then it unleashes this bigotry of anti-Muslim bigotry.
معليش الجن مسلم والله تو ادري. Okay.
And then on top of that, they smear all people of Muslim background like myself. And then it unleashes this bigotry of anti-Muslim bigotry throughout the world that I'm sick of. So screw Hamas and their barbarism, okay? Now, in terms of a proper reaction, yes, you need to get those hostages out. So now let's look at I'm going to suggest what to actually do. I'm going to be constructive. But first, let's look at the unconstructive solution that Israel had. Dropping bombs on residential buildings. 50 ambulances have been hit. 10 out of 25 hospitals don't operate anymore.
Damn.
The incubators are about to run out of energy. There's 45 babies that might die today.
Damn.
The parents I just read on CNN are writing the names of the kids on their calves, on their legs, so that if they are killed in a bombing and they're mutilated, they could find their bodies. Imagine writing the name of your child on their legs so that you could find them in the rubble after Israel or any government drops a bomb on them. And I need the West to understand something. Bombs kill people. And do you know how they kill people? They incinerate them alive, or their heads explode.
Damn.
So what happened in Israel was a disaster and disgusting. But you have to be equally honest and equally outraged at the immorality of incinerating babies and grandmothers and aunts and uncles, which is what we're doing right now. America cannot keep sending aid for death and destruction. Enough of the occupation. End it today. End it today. It's monstrous. Okay, I'm going to get to
let me ask you
constructive
this.
solution.
I completely understand your passion and your anger. I completely get this. I, like you, want to see some resolution at the end of this horror that we're witnessing. How do you get rid of Hamas if you don't do it the way Israel are currently doing it? How do you actually eradicate what has become a nihilistic ISIS-style terror group who've quite deliberately, in my estimation, committed an outrage of such appalling scale that they knew that this would goad Israel into this kind of response? So why they did that, what is motivating it, who might be putting them up to it, who's helped them prepare for this, these are all questions we don't know the answers to yet. But it seems to me that Israel could, if it's not careful, be being lured into a massive trap here. And I hope that is not the case. But I'm curious, how do you get rid of Hamas if you don't do it the way Israel is currently doing it, albeit with horrific collateral damage in the face of thousands of innocent Palestinians being caught up in the bombing?
Yeah. So let me give you a short-term answer, long-term answer. And a lot of people are not going to like these, but these are realistic ways that you minimize civilian casualties. You do what America did with the Osama bin Laden raid. We didn't go drop a nuke on Pakistan. We didn't go destroy 6,000 residential buildings in the middle of Pakistan. We sent in special forces. Is it more dangerous to the special forces? Of course. That's the point of special forces. Try to find the hostages. Does it look like Israel's trying to find the hostages? If I have a family member that's a hostage, I'm disgusted by what Netanyahu's doing now. How do you know they're not in the buildings you're dropping bombs on?
Facts.
How do you know they're not in the tunnels you're dropping bombs on?
Facts.
How do you know they're not in the hospitals you're dropping bombs on? So if you want the hostages rescued, every rational human being can agree this is not the way to do it. This is the way to do death and destruction for the sake of death and destruction. It's collective punishment. It's genocide against Palestinians, and the world has to speak out. So my way is not pleasant either. It involves a lot of folks dying on both sides. I understand that. Those are super hard choices. But go find Hamas. Go find the hostages. Go rescue them instead of wantonly, indiscriminately killing after killing. And let's be honest, when you drop a bomb and a kid's head explodes and a grandmother is incinerated, that is terrorism. Killing 3 times as many civilians as Hamas is terrorism. And it is the same if it is done by a government. Send in as many special forces as you got. We should send in whatever you got to actually do the job at hand instead of what Netanyahu is doing, which is to kill these people to what? Send a message. And think about how unrealistic that is. And
ويت قبل ما نخش في الواقعية، أول حل سأسمعه واقعي من دون ما تقتل الشعب، قوات خاصة، نفس اللي صار مع أوكي نفس اللي صار مع بن لادن. هذه الطريقة الأفضل من إنك تفجر حي كامل just in case ممكن يكون هناك، لأنه حتى هم ما يعرفوا لو الأسرى قاعدين هناك ولا لا، صح لا. أوكي شايف كيف من هنا من بداية السؤال حول المنطقة هذه ليه هنا he was cooking قاعد يتكلم.
which is to kill these people to what? Send a message. And think about how unrealistic that is. And think about why his method has a 0% chance of working. How are the Palestinians supposed to rise up against Hamas? How would they prove they're against Hamas? Hamas ended all elections. Hamas ended democracy. So how are the Palestinians supposed to cry uncle? They're already crying uncle, but it's never enough for the bloodthirsty Netanyahu. No more death of Palestinians, more babies killed. That's what his answer is. And it's this, and the United States of America, I'm running for president here. There's no way in the world I would allow this. Sending $105 billion. And it doesn't even go to Israel, Ukraine, or Taiwan. It goes to the defense contractors that bribe these greedy American politicians and then get most of that money. And so the long-term answer is 1967 borders and the biggest walls you've ever seen in your entire life. And no one's allowed to cross to either side. But the Palestinians get their state. It is unconscionable for them not to get their state. And if you're a moral person, of course you believe that the Palestinians are not the only people in the world that cannot govern themselves. If you say that, you are being, by definition, bigoted and a racist. We have to have two-state solution immediately. If 56 years of occupation and brutalizing these people is not enough, is 57 years going to be enough? Is 156 years going to be enough? I'm asking Israel, not out of hate, out of love. So many of my friends that I grew up with are Jewish. This is not good for them. This is not good for anybody. Please look into your hearts, look and be the moral people that I know you can be. I've been to Passover dinners where you pray for your oppressors. Now, it breaks my heart, but I got to tell you, you got to pray for those you are oppressing. And to say that you're not oppressing the Palestinians after brutalizing them for 56 long years, you're kidding yourself. And as a friend and an ally, I'm trying to get you to wake up and snap out of this trance. You cannot keep doing this. It is ruining your moral fiber.
Cenk Uygur, thank you very much indeed.
أول غربي يقول كلام، هذا أفضل كلام سمعته من واحد من الغرب so far. أتمنى أن الكل كان يسمع. أتمنى ذلك. I have trusted Piers in some of his other videos, but we have to respect the fact that he invites people with challenging views into his platform. Facts. These are the discussions we need to have. أول ضيف خلاه بيرس خلاه يتكلم، صح؟ أول ضيف تكلم.